propel him to establish himself and create miracles. So all these miracles come with its real promotion or promotion does also, it's not in plus years of existence. Because if you limit your want, like I have started doing it by minimizing my want and leading a minimalistic lifestyle, I have enough to spend more than I can spend. And there, any kind of way you can contribute for the growth of others makes a difference in my own life, in the life of others around me. And this, whether you call it dry promotion or a kind word at the right moment, a push, or any kind of a smile even on your lips towards the people working under you, makes a tremendous difference in their life. So try it and see how magic happens to a utopian world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Well spoken, very nice take on dry promotion. From the guest, Manoj, would you like to go next? I guess.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Manoj, would you like to speak on Ghost Mall?
Sorry, say that again.
Would you like to speak on Ghost Mall?
Go small.
Yeah.
Go small.
Yeah, Ghost Mall.
Oh, Ghost Mall. Okay.
Yeah, shopping.
Okay. Shopping, understand. Okay.
Shopping.
Fellow Toastmasters, guest, and table topic master. With the emergence of digital world, we have seen a drastic change in people's online behavior. Now, let me tell you about my story at home. Most of personally, I'm a bit of an old school person who like to go to shopping center or malls and trying to see the items and buy them. Even a single book, I would like to smell, try to lick my hands and try to browse through those kind of papers because it gives you a feel about how the books are all about. Books is not about like with the Kindles and all those things that's completely changed. And look at the kind of online malls and all those things. People, the footsteps are minimizing every day because of the digital world and the kind of promotions are happening there. The fact is that all business are square meters, kind of square foot, kind of a money about it. But if you look at a bigger scheme of things, if you things put in the perspective, think about people who are running shops in those kind of malls. Their livelihoods are there. If you're trying to start buying it online and giving the tax to Amazons and Flipkarts because they are making millions, not in millions, billions they're making right now with the kind of promotions and the kind of digital systems and algorithm bait so that people can jump on it and click on this one. So if you look at the bigger things, I think ghost malls are things are not in the India actually, but if you look at other part of the world, the West, there are things you can see. Ghost malls are happening there. People are not going into the malls, But if and also to test them, feel them before I buy them. And people in the shops make them livelihood for them. There may be a grocery shop kind of guy. So that's where it is I am right now. With that, over to you, Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Nidhi.
Thank you, Manoj. You nailed it. And as per me, I believe that we should make balance between online shopping. Let's just think about these vegetable when things delivered at your home and that to very concessional price. So balancing is very much important. So who would like to go next? Mohit sir, do we have time? Shall I continue? Okay. So as this is a storyteller group, I'm not a good storyteller. I accept this fact. So now what I want to give it a twist. I want to start a story and everybody will speak within the time limit, 1 to 2 minutes time. And later to that, other person will continue that story. It is not important to finish this off. Are you ready? Okay. So it was New Year morning, 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. So I was lying on the bed. And just listening a noise outside. So there was commotion. And gradually that commotion increased a lot. Initially, I was resisting myself from going out. Then I thought that now this is the time to go out and see what is happening. And when there's a commotion of people, everybody gets furious and excited that what is happening outside? Let's go. So I got up and I stood in my balcony and I looked outside. I saw 2 couples were standing there in the parking at 2 a.m. in the morning. And they were arguing with each other. There was verbal spat. And they both were in inebriated form. You better understand that on New Year morning, what you expect from people who are standing outside and fighting for parking. So who would like to continue it? Mohit sir, you, what happened next as per you?
The 2 couples were fighting over a rather flimsy topic. They were in the process of racing their cars, and the fact that there was nobody to judge who won, the 2 ultimately started to have a fight among each other to decide who's the winner. After all, the men wanted to impress their girlfriends who were their co-passengers in the car. Now, both the couples were inebriated. Both the couples felt that they were the winners, and I was there watching, wondering how will these people ever be able to decide who has won, and whether there is any fun in even deciding who won. What fun will come out of that? I was thinking, heard yet another argument emerge from one of the couples, and it was about. Let me pass on to the next person now. Deepak, would you like to take the story forward?
Thank you, Mohit sir. So, yes, the 2 person, the couples who fight each other. So, so everyone. So it can be man or can be women. So they have their own utopian. So they want to live as per their utopia. So since they started their last year uh, night with a utopian that we go somewhere and we do something like as per their expectation. The boy can't deliver this utopian of that girl. So maybe the reason of fight. Uh, yes. So over to you, the next speaker.
So Rahul, would you like to go next? Are you there? I don't think he's there. Deepti, you there? Yeah, Deepti. Please carry
I'd
forward.
rather like to pass it on to somebody who's not spoken. Maybe the Tendu, we haven't heard him.
Yeah, Deependu, are you there? So would you like to continue?
Yeah, certainly. So, I'm sorry because I had zoned out a little because I had stepped away. So you'll have to fill me in where I have to pick up from.
Just, yeah. So two couples were there and they were fighting over parking. So now situation is going on, who won, who got the parking slot and how they resolve the issue. So you'll have to carry it forward. So as per you, what happened? They called the police, bystander, they intervened, what happened? And then they started, they got into physical fight. What happened next?
Once upon a time, there were two couples, couple A and couple B. They visited Connaught Place. Connaught Place is a very famous shopping area in Delhi, and a lot of people frequent it, especially during weekends. The two cars were coming from opposite directions, and this is where the parking slot was. Now, as we have been taught while you are learning driving, that use indicator to indicate to other people where you want to go. And clearly, the goal was occupying the parking slot. The car coming from the right turned its indicator on towards right and actually started turning. This car was a Maruti Swift, and the car on the left was a Thar, Mahindra Thar. Now, just as the Maruti Swift had already started swerving towards the right after applying indicator, the Thar really pressed on the accelerator and almost rammed into the Maruti Swift, wanting to occupy the same parking slot. Now, no one got hurt, even though it was Thar versus Maruti Swift. And we know that Thar is much stronger and a bigger car. What happened next was, of course, that the two couples, couple A and couple B, started fighting with each other because there was a collision, an accident of sorts. People gathered around, and there were policemen as well who actually gathered in order to break this scuffle. What happened was then the couple in the Maruti Swift, that means couple B in this case, were then taken to jail and were kept there for a night. The next day they were released. And of course, the person in the Thar occupied the parking spot and had a jolly time shopping. Now, if you have heard the story carefully up until now, you might be thinking, why did the couple in the Maruti Suzuki Swift taken to jail? Because the person sitting in Thar, the couple sitting in Thar, were fabulous storytellers. They were actually able to convince the police by crafting white lies that the person sitting in Maruti Swift, the couple sitting in Maruti Swift, was actually in the wrong and tried to attack them and put their life in jeopardy while they were sitting in Thar, and the car opposite to them was a Maruti Swift. Now, I was sitting as a bystander, I was watching all of this. And what I realized was this is life in its playing out. And if you think that there is a right and a wrong in this world, the answer is no. The right is the person who is able to prove that he or she is right, and the wrong is the person who is not able to prove whatever he or she wants to prove. That is why you would see that many a times at police station, many of us would have visited a police station, many of us wouldn't have. But police, who is actually a custodian of law and order in a locality or in a country, for example, many a times people feel a little afraid or skeptical of going up to the police and sharing their grievances with them, how they might get entangled in the system. While then there are pseudo criminals, probably not criminals, but people who are bold and know that they can talk their way out of a difficult situation. They are confident in dealing with establishments like police, knowing full well that they would be able to put their point across, whether right or wrong, and convince to the authorities that yes, they are indeed in the right. So it's very important to understand that the couples were not fighting with each other. The couples were just projecting their idea of right and wrong in front of people who are actually supposed to differentiate between right and wrong. So life is a fight and it will never end. Therefore, urge you on always. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dipendu. You spoke very nicely. It is always, I always enjoy listening to you. So you completely changed the purpose of that topic. Anyways, so, but it was a well-crafted story on the spot. So Mehak, would you like to take next?
Sure.
So would you like to continue the story? Though
The story only or from the
he has
previous
finished
one?
it, he has finished it, but I still want to understand that what happened next. It was his way, his imagination that it was a reality which he encountered. So as per you, what would have happened? Story which we started. Did they call police? They got into the physical fight. What happened next?
The initial story that we started and
Yeah, that I
was
started.
mastered.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So when the couple were fighting, it was that when one of the couples started and brought the police to the place where the fight was started, and the police was in the matter now. First couple, they told their point of view and their perspective that what happened initially. Since it was the New Year's Day, the police was also not feeling really good of being coming to the location and handling a situation of something like a spat over such a small issue about parking. The police was also very much in not in touch with the not aligned with both of the couples of what they were saying. So it eventually came out as a very big mistake that happened between both of them. And the police encountered that both of the couples were wrong on their part, and they tried to resolve the issue by giving the parking space, the allotted parking space, by confronting them and asking them that what is the issue, where they are supposed to park their cars, and what upfront can be given to them. So it was the police, that the third person that was being called to actually solve the dispute between the two couples. Maybe can be ended, the spike ended by looking at the brighter spot. Like sometimes between two people can be understanding, and a third person has to be called upon so that both of the situation can be handled well enough. Well, that's my take on the topic. Back to you. Thank you.
A nice take, Mehak. And I was the one who started this story. So obviously I have the privilege to close this story. And that was a real story, but you will be surprised to know that I was sleeping and there was nothing. It was just a sound of that crackers and little spare. Realized that it was merely a dream. Nothing was there. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster. Back to you, Mohit sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nidhi. A huge round of applause for our table topics master, Toastmaster Nidhi. Wonderful selection of topics, and you got almost everybody to participate today in the table topics. That's amazing. Now, where is my friend Sagar? Sagar, are you there? Let's take the meeting forward. Now, let's little where we can involve everybody and get to understand what people feel about technology and virtual world. From what we've discussed so far, two things are clear. One is that every time a new technology comes up, along comes with it a lot of anxiety. And the second thing that comes out whenever there's new technology, a new invention, is a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm, almost like it's a utopian moment that this virtual world is going to solve all the human problems. Don't you think so, Sagar?
Yes, sir. Even I think same. Like there are always two emotions, two feelings whenever a new technology is coming: excitement and the over promises. And I wanted to take a poll actually, like how the audience is feeling about this technology today. How many are excited? How many are anxious? So can we take the poll?
Absolutely. Let's do that. Let's do a show of hands of all the people who are feeling anxious. Let's do a show of hands. I certainly feel anxious. The latest technology might just take my job away. I was reading in the newspaper, Sagar, that all the CEOs are the ones who are the most worried because 80% of what the CEOs do can easily be done by the technologies. In fact, there is a company which has an AI robot as its CEO. Did you know that?
Oh, no, this is something new I'm hearing for the first time. Which company is
Absolutely.
it?
It's a Chinese company. I'll be happy to share the name with you. It's a gaming company. Country is very recent. There are so many show of hands, Sagar.
So these are the like those who are anxious about the technology. So rest all are excited about this virtual reality, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I was talking to my son and I was telling him he's 15 years old now. I was telling him that we should take care of electric and water. And I told him that I'm switching off the AC when I'm not needing it. And he was like, "What are you talking about? We don't need to do that. You know what? The technology that we have today can solve all the problems. In fact, it can have the mind of lakhs of super intelligent people put together, and you give that technology a problem and it will solve it for you like that." He said, "Moreover, we are going to shift to Mars soon. So what's the point in solving the electricity, the water problem here?" So that's the kind of utopia that people who are super excited feel with all this virtual world that we live in today. So let's do a quick quiz, Sagar. How about asking everybody? I'll share with you. It's like a who am I game. Everybody has to guess what am I talking about. I'm going to read out the lines from a newspaper, and you are going to all tell me what technology or innovation read out from the newspaper. Pay attention. This technology can cause stress and feelings of social anxiety. It can harm the eyes and can lead to mental and social disorders. It can also bring feelings of loneliness and can cause depression, and it can increase suicidal tendencies. Tell me, which technology or invention am I talking about?
Mobile.
Mobile.
Touch
Okay.
phone.
Thanks for
PUBG,
putting your
gaming.
answer.
Smartphone.
Smartphones. Any other answers? Latest from Apple is the Vision Pro, right? Somebody I was asking said it could be Vision Pro as well. But any other answers? Prem sir, what do you think?
Looked like this some smartphone kind, or it can't be TV or something. It sounds
TV, something. Oh, absolutely. Yes, it could be TV as well. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Now let me spill the beans. The technology that I'm talking about is none of what you answered. The paper articles. And back then, the mass printing press technology had come out, which meant that books could be printed easily. And the context was that when children will read such books, where nice and not so nice, all kind of material will become open to for them to read. It can cause stress and anxiety. Their eyes can be harmed and can cause depression and suicide as well. So imagine a printing press, which is very much a part of our lives today, was such a big issue of concern back then. Exactly like how we are feeling today about artificial intelligence and the latest technologies. So, the point is that every time something new comes out, there is a lot of excitement, a lot of anxiety, and we need to learn to deal with that. So, in our next segment, we are going to talk about how to deal with this anxiety. So, Sagar, would you like to share something?
Well, to overcome, or like, the first thing is that whenever a new technology comes, we have to be aware of both the sides. What are the positives and the negatives? For me, if I talk about my personal example, I was always positive about, working from home, doing remote work, and I always like that because, we have to put very less efforts. But let me share my recent example. I live in Bangalore and I work for a software company, and I mostly work remotely. I like working because I don't have to travel. It saves my time, it saves my cost. So, but I was traveling one day I was just walking on the road and I traveled for around 2 kilometers. And there I found a lake. In a high-tech city like Bangalore, I found a lake next to the buildings and surrounded by green. I sat there for 1.5 hours. And then I met a few people, around 10 people who were playing cricket. I met them, I made friendship with them. I played there for around next 1 hour. And that day I realized, there is another world also. Rather than working remotely, sitting in front of your laptops, meeting my friends, peers, people remotely, you have to explore the outer world as well. Same goes with this virtual reality as well. No matter, it will take you to any part of the world. It will build an Ethiopian world for you, but you'll have to realize that yes, this cannot replace the natural beauty or the natural environment that is built completely. So back to you, Mohit sir. Any thoughts
Thank
you
you.
have?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great thing you have shared. In the world that we live in, still nothing can beat the natural environment, nothing can beat playing with our friends. And we need to, while we need to embrace the new technologies, we need not forget the human touch that only we can bring in. So, with that, let's take the meeting forward. And we are at the last segment of our meeting now, which is the evaluations. So, for our evaluation section, let's call on stage our general evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Deepthi.
Thank you, Mohit, for inviting me on the virtual podium once again. Let us start the evaluation section. And for that, I'd first like to invite our evaluator, Toastmaster Mehak, on the virtual podium to share her evaluation of our icebreaker speech by Saurabh Luthra today. Over to you, Mehak.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Good evening once again. Our speaker today shared his journey and gave his icebreaker speech today. He started the speech with two questions. The first one being, like, ever heard Mark Zuckerberg wearing simple clothes? And the second one, like Ratan Tata putting messages about stray dogs. These two simple questions that were being asked in the meeting initially quickly grabbed the attention of the audience. So great job done, Toastmaster Saurabh, on that part. Second thing, when he was talking about his journey and he started on that my was doing initially with what he is doing now, and about himself, he shared his journey about him as well. That is the second best thing that he shared in his speech today. That when you are sharing about yourself, your insights about your journey, it would also help in grabbing the attention of the audience. So kudos to you for that. The third thing that I like from your speech the most was when you started on that imagine a situation. This was a phrase that was being given to the audience for them, which quickly grabbed the attention by the audience went into a virtual world imagining a situation. The situation was like what happened if kids are in depression. But look at the outer side as well, like how friendship changed the thought of it. So the speech that was being in these three parts, where initially started with the question like what simple things that he likes about, going about on himself, he told about his journey, his profession, his being, and then coming to the thoughts that he wanted to share in the icebreaker speech that was about friendship. So this was the structure of the speech, and I really like the way he structured his speech. while he spoke about the situation like he was imagining. For example, gave instances about the friendship, like what a good friendship looks like, how having friends would help you overcome certain situation, would help overcome certain problems in your life. So he gave a reference to friendship all over his speech. During the speech, he also shared little tidbits about his life, like how his life and his friendship has been affected over his journey. Now, coming to the facts, like what he can work upon so that to make this speech a great speech would be to have a little control on the voice modulation when you are using certain figures. For example, when you turn the situation and when you started talking about friendship, you could have used a different voice modulation tool. For instance, like now let's go on and talk about friendship or something, like imagine a situation, maybe giving such a curiosity to the audience by referring and by using certain different languages. This was my only recommendation to your speech. Otherwise, it had some great takeaways about friendship, and some things that I can really like when you started on with a question, when which arose the curiosity among the audience, something that you can work upon, which is the voice modulation. With this, I would like to hand over the stage back to Toastmaster Deepti, our general evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Meher. I'm sure Saurabh will find the evaluation indeed useful, and he can implement the feedback for delivering his next speech soon enough. So thank you, Meher, for that one. I'd like to now invite our timer for sharing the report. Will you be ready, Deepak, or do you need some time?
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Okay, sure. Then please go ahead and share the timing.
Okay, what a wonderful session. So I'll start my timer report from the prepared speech. So Toastmaster Saurav took 6 minutes 50 seconds. The next is table topics. So Toastmaster Nidhi is playing a superb role in table topics. Even I'm giving me little difficulty to count on the Toastmaster, like which Toastmaster I have to count or which I not. So I count Toastmaster Suraj, who took 1 minute 2 seconds. Next, Toastmaster Mohit took 2 minutes 12 seconds. Toastmaster Manoj took 2 minutes 19 seconds. Toastmaster Manoj took 2 minutes 25 seconds. And another open session, it's very, what a good story by Dipendu sir. So even he was not prepared and he stepped away. And then he started the story. What a wonderful story. Thank you. But I not count that timing for that speech. Under evaluation, Toastmaster Mehak evaluate Toastmaster Saurav, who took 3 minutes 30 seconds. So this is my timer report, Toastmaster Deepti. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Deepak, for being so diligent with the timings. Next up, I would like to request our counter, Suraj, to please share his report.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Hi, everybody. I'm back with my report. And all the speakers are flawless in today's session. But I have noticed down some words that I felt that most of the speakers that were using those words. So first, I would like to start with Toastmaster Mohit. He was using "and" multiple times. All the speakers were using "and" multiple times. Toastmaster Mohit. I don't want to point the name, but these were this word is you can say all the speakers were using multiple times. So and so I would suggest that please use as minimum as you can use in the upcoming meetings. Other than everything was okay. That's all from my side. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Suraj. Thank you for sharing the report. And in our club, when somebody uses a word multiple times, what we usually do is give it a title of a favorite word. So, "and" was a favorite word, not only for Mohit, but a lot of other speakers in the club today. But yes, we need to keep our favorites aside. I'm a little. Suraj, thank you for sharing the report. I'd like to now invite Colonel Prem to share the grammarian report.
Good afternoon once again. So being a grammarian reminds me of days of Wren and Martin and my English teachers. It takes me back to those days and looking for faults. Weeks. Last 2 weeks, we could have said for last 2 weeks instead of since last 2 weeks. Then Saurabh, in terms of pronunciation, this chosen, I think he mentioned, so it could be spoken as chosen. And also, as again Deepti mentioned, that using and, so I think here again Saurabh spoke timely and surely, and again so 2-3 times this thing got used. Then again optimum, word of pronunciation of word optimum, I think could be rectified. Then Nidhi mentioned no worry. So normally I think we say no worries, or it could be don't worry, right? So that is that front. As far as these good words and thoughts and sayings which I noticed, I think Mr. Mohit used a few words like segment, integrate, unveil. So good words. Then Saurabh used words like contrary, captivating, spouse. Of course, these are also common use, but then you will. Then Nidhi, this came in as part of the table topics really. Dry promotion. In fact, I also learned it just today that without salary, so dry promotion. And another word that she used, even go small. Of course, yeah, go small one I had heard before, but then that is another word which came in as a table topic. Then Manoj used this unravel. Then Nidhi again mentions spat, for that quarrel and fight. Lucky I felt, although the Mahek, I think finally ended with a happy ending, and rightly so. But then a lot of negatives this may we are using, and I was again reminded of my service selection board interviews, wherein and the psychology test where you have this situation reaction test. So this part of thing is given, then you are supposed to complete. So they are of course looking for a realistic and positive sort of response. Right. Then we had Diptendu, of course, who's good with his grammar and English and vocabulary. So you used words like swirling, collision, jeopardy, bystander, skeptical. Then we had a Mahek, use eventually, and word like a resolve. So I think these are some of my comments from this point of grammarian. So, thank you so much. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you, Colonel Prem, for a very detailed report. And now it's my turn to share an evaluation of all the evaluations that were done, or the speaking part of the meeting today. So let me start with our president's address. Diptendu took on the stage as a host, as a sub of the meeting, and opened it. Truly appreciate the energy that Diptendu brings on stage. And that is what I appreciate about it. What I would challenge Diptendu to do next time onwards is to ensure that he follows all steps, that is, speaks out the mission of the club or Toastmasters Club, and also introduce or take a brief introduction of the guests. Those are two areas that let's go by the script and maintain every time we open a meeting. They just bring us back to our roots as Toastmasters. Moving on to our Toastmaster of the day. Well, we did not have one, but we had two, and more the merrier. There were a lot of twists and turns in the role of a Toastmaster of the day today. And I'm sure all of us enjoyed. So there was newness in terms of using filters and making us smile. There was newness prized by announcing Toastmaster Lokita's name, but two other gentlemen walking in. And we truly appreciated of bringing such twists or newness from the regular mundane role of the Toastmaster of a T-Mod. So kudos to both of you for handling it. And the other brilliant thing that I liked is that you guys were in tandem with each other. So at no point we felt as if the stage was empty. The passing of the baton from Mohit to Sagar and from Sagar to Mohit was very smooth. So kudos to you guys for co-hosting and playing that role together today. Great work at that. Let me speak a few words about our table topic master Nidhi today. Such a variety of topics today, from explaining situations to giving terms, throwing the terms at us, and making us guess the name of a topic or a series so that we can speak about it. So a lot of variety, for which I would like to give you a kudos. But however, on the flip side, I would appreciate if the topics were nature, then continue giving situations. It's just see, table topics is a segment where anyways we find it challenging to raise our hand and speak. So adding another twist to it will make the follow-up participants more squarey, is what I think. So that is why I personally, in my role as a G today, I would appreciate having similar topics given in a particular session. My tag team, I think in the role of a timer, Deepak, you did brilliantly well. And what I always appreciate is that you share a screenshot of your timing report diligently in the chat box. So visuals speak louder than words. Every time I look at that sheet, I visualize that which I took or which I spoke for. It's a great tool. It really helps the speakers. So thank you, Deepak. And what I also noticed today was that probably you were using less of a reading script while you were speaking out the details of your role, which is where I feel that practice is making or bringing you closer to being utopian. So good work at that. Continue. In the role of an hour counter, Suraj, you did brilliantly well. You called out the favorite words that people used. But what I would like to challenge you is to maintain a report where the R's and M's on the long and the short pauses are tracked. I know for sure that I use a lot of long pauses and short pauses and R's while I speak. So I would like to see the count of such utterances in a meeting, in a particular speaking. But otherwise, thank you for noting our repeated words. I think that is coming to a grammarian, Colonel Plain. What I appreciate today is that when you shared the word of the day, you also went ahead to break the norm and you shared the antonym of the word of the day. So it's always the word of the day, of course, but then sharing either the history or an antonym or with an example, I think that gives a different flavor to the role. So my urge to all Toastmasters is that do try out. This is a safe and a healthy place. So the way Colonel Prem tried out sharing the antonym of the word, it's a great idea. And not to say that, so some ideas will work, some ideas might not work, but this is the place where we can actually experiment. Thank you, and thank you for sharing a detailed report about the words that were used, even though they were common words, but yes, using them at the right place at the right time makes it more encouraging for everybody to use them their way. So thank you for the brilliant report. With that, I'm good. Okay. So our evaluator, Toastmaster Mehak, I think you gave a very structured evaluation for our icebreaker speech today. I truly appreciate that. I love the way that you described the structure. It actually put things in perspective for all of us. So great evaluation done. The challenge that I would like to share with you is that to think about the title of the speech as an integral part of the structure. So because when I, so in my opinion or in my thought, the title of the speech is like the crown that the speaker wears. It sets curiosity levels high for the audience. So always include the title of the speech in the structure when you're describing the structure. So whether you appreciate it or what's a delta or something that you can throw as a challenge to the speaker about the title of the speech. With that, I come to a close of my report. Thank you very much. I pass on the baton back to our Toastmasters of the day, Mohit and Sagar. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepti. Huge round of applause for Toastmaster Deepti and her team. What a wonderful evaluation. Evaluation is the feedback for champions, as we say, and that's what we take away from these sessions so that we can improve and become better speakers and better communicators and better leaders. So thank you, Toastmaster Deepti, for that. Now, we were talking about how Toastmaster Sagar keeps it real, and that saves him from the overpromise of all this virtual world. The other aspect of it is anxiety. How do we overcome that anxiety? Is basically if we befriend the technology, if we embrace the technology, if we try to leverage what the technology has to bring. There's a author of the famous book, The Power of One More. His name is Ed Mylett. He says that we can live 3 days every day. That's the power, that's the promise of technology. If we use it efficiently, it can add to the quality of our life, and it can also increase what we can do every day. So imagine that's the promise that it holds, and it'll only come to us if we embrace it, if we stay away from fear and embrace. We are already meeting the power of ChatGPT to create our agendas, to create our roles roster. And the roles roster is particularly important because it allows us to have everybody to participate. We have seen in the past that the same person comes back again and again playing the same role, but with AI's intelligence, we tell it that we want to have everybody to continue in their journey. So create a roster for us, and it does that for us. We don't have to exert much, and it does it for us. So those are some of the ways in which we all can embrace the technology and make it work for us. The brain-computer implants like Neuralink will allow and is already allowing people with disabilities, and it's helping them in many different ways. They can speak if they were not able to speak. They are able to overcome their physical disabilities. And that's what it means if we embrace the technologies. So Sagar, let's conclude the meeting. Maybe let's hear our virtual classes one more time and let our audience know what we want them to take back from this entire session that we. Our key takeaway for all of you today is that let your virtual embrace soar while you stay humble and real at the core. Let's say it out together. Let our virtual embrace soar.
Let our virtual embrace soar
while we stay humble and real at the core.
while we stay humble and real at the core.
Thank you once again, everyone, for being a wonderful audience. And with that, we would like to pass on the virtual stage back to our presiding officer. Back to you, Toastmaster Diptendu.
What an incredible theme and a presentation by the two Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Mohit and Toastmaster Sagar. Thank you so much, guys. A round of applause for the two of you. All right, now, so let us move to the awards section and recognition section of today's meeting. And do we have we rolled out the voting form? If we haven't, we can share it on the chat. And while people vote, we'll have a feedback.
I'll be doing that, Toastmaster Diptendu.
Sure. And while Toastmaster Mohit rolls out the voting form and collects responses, if there are, I don't think there are guests in the meeting right now, but if anyone would like to share feedback for today's meeting, you are most welcome. In fact, we can have probably one sentence from everyone regarding today's meeting's feedback. So let's start with Suraj. Suraj, how was your experience of today's meeting? What are your takeaways from today's meeting?
First of all, I have been many times in this yeah, most of you know me, and yeah, it was a really wonderful meeting, and I enjoyed conversation, and especially this is the first time I was witnessing two teamwork at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was all over. It was wonderful meeting.
That's great. Thanks, Suraj, for joining in. Moving on to Deepak. Deepak, your feedback for today's meeting?
I just given my this in the book. So it's I simply loved it, and always, not today, but always. Proud to be part of.
Thanks, Deepak.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Colonel Prem, your feedback for today's meeting? You're on mute, sir. All right, so we still can't hear you. You're on mute. Yeah.
And come up with some good idea, conversational, like Mr. Mohit and Mr. Sagar, and making that virtual VR thing. That can create that right kind of environment, for the theme that we have.
Sure. Wonderful. Thanks, Colonel Prem. And Toastmaster Mohit, do we have all the votes in, or are we still waiting?
We have 7 votes in, so a couple of more folks to give their votes. Meanwhile,
I can't access the voting link. Okay, now I can, yeah. So all in all, it was a fantastic meeting with a great theme, insightful theme, wonderful speech, and of course a round of evaluations. The table topics were also interestingly. I hope all of you at least realize or have the feeling that Toastmasters does add value in your life, and you have to continuously keep polishing public speaking skills, articulation skills, because it is not easy. It is like the more you do something, the more you realize how less you know about it. and there are so many different ways of conveying a point across. There are so many different storytelling techniques or techniques which probably aren't bound by the conventional rules of storytelling but are effective in conveying a point. So let us continue, and I'm eagerly waiting to announce the results for today's meeting. Mohit, please share it with me on personal chat.
Sure.
If there are any thoughts from anyone regarding how can we do better as a Toastmaster club, you are free to take this time and express your views.
So they wanted to check from Sagar and Mohit. So this virtual thing that you're wearing, so where does it come from? From those one of these apps or AI companion? How does that happen?
Sagar, go for it.
So, sir, when you click on that video option, right, you'll see a choose filter option, and there are different emojis you can select and apply.
Yeah, when you choose the video option.
Yes. If I can share my.
Choose.
Yes. Above choose avatar, we have choose video filter, right?
Huh?
Yeah. So there are different emojis you can select, and it will be applied on your face.
Sure. Okay.
Maybe all of us can wear those VR glasses and click a picture.
Where are my video? Here I don't see the goggles, background and effects. Video filters.
Yeah, so go to choose video filter. You will see a lot of filters popping up in front of you. Just scroll down and second to bottom is vertical. It has a tag new world. Yeah.
Oh.
Great. Fantastic. Ours has to be the hippest club in Toastmasters.
We need to click a picture.
Yeah.
Already did.
Maybe Mohit or Sagar, you can quickly share your screen to show it once.
I was trying to, but I think I don't have the permissions.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
this is where it is. You guys can see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. This is the choose video filter. And this is the video filter tab.
We can't see Zoom activity.
No, you cannot see Zoom on Zoom.
This thing screen here.
Yeah, we have got desktop, moments of truth, PDF output.
I stopped sharing. There was too much detail.
Stuff that was visible.
Okay. Okay. I'll use Deepak's style. I will just take a print screen and paste it on the chat.
Mohit sir, if you would like to announce the results.
Yeah, let me do that. Okay, so for the best speaker, no guesses there. Our best speaker, wonderful speech by Toastmaster Saurabh. So let's have a round of applause for Saurabh. Looking forward to your next speech, Saurabh, and this one was amazing. This is the start of your journey. And the best evaluator is also no guesses there. Wonderful evaluation by Toastmaster Mehak. Round of applause for Mehak. Auxiliary role, Toastmaster Prem for the grammarian role. The role player of the day goes to Table Topics Master, Toastmaster Nidhi.
Wonderful, Nidhi. Congratulations.
Yeah. And those are all the awards. And overall, I'm seeing a lot of people who have loved the meeting. So thank you everyone for your feedback. This is the new way in which we are gathering the feedback. And this way we will also capture your feelings, what in words, what went well, what not. So your inputs matter a lot. And thank you for sharing that. Back to you, Toastmaster Diptendu.
All right, with this, it is time to wrap up the meeting. Please come forward and connect with any one of us. You can connect with either Mohit or me, Alokita, Sagar. Take up roles for the upcoming meeting, and or just share with us how would you like to progress in your Toastmasters journey. What would you like to work on so that we can devise a strategy, a plan together for you to reap maximum benefits out of Toastmasters. So another fabulous meeting completed. I wish you all the very best for the rest of the weekend. Have a great next week. With this, it's time to close.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.